Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Güleryüz Çohadar. This presentation is based on work done with Professor Dr. Dostoğlu. We are from Istanbul Kültür University, Department of Architecture. Today, we will look at how ethnic enclaves shape urban livability through two case studies in Istanbul. Thank you for joining us. Migration shapes cities everywhere, creating ethnic enclaves where people keep culture alive and support each other. Think of Chinatown or Little Italy. These areas become vibrant, not just for migrants, but for locals and tourists too. In Istanbul, large Syrian migration after 2011 deeply transformed some neighborhoods, new shops, new languages, new street life. So this study looks at urban livability, seeing how migrant communities boost social life, but also raise tough questions about inclusion and who really belongs to this city. Let's explain our theoretical framework. Our theory is based on Jane Jacobs' ideas of eyes on the streets, the idea that everyday life creates safety and vibrancy in cities. Migrant enclaves bring life to underused areas and strengthen the local economy and culture. Researchers like Kloster, Rath, Sandercock, and Hall explain how these areas fill the gaps that official planning often ignores. Traditional enclaves like Chinatowns or Little Italies or Kreuzberg are global examples, but when enclaves turn into transclaves. Let me describe transclaves. Transclaves are places where identity is marketed. New risks like loss of authenticity and community control can appear. Our aim is to explore how Syrian enclaves and transclaves in Istanbul reshape urban spaces and affect livability. We ask, how do these migrant spaces impact the broader city? Does visibility lead to inclusion or new inequalities? How does moving from enclave to transclave change spatial and social dynamics? In this slide, we compare enclaves and transclaves. Enclaves grow organically, meet local needs, and build community trust. Transclaves are more visible, often attract outsiders or tourists, and risk turning culture into a product, reducing local agency. And there is a question, why Istanbul? Because Istanbul is an ideal setting for this study. It has a long history of migration. Since 2011, the Syrian conflict brought a new wave of forced migration that changed both the social and spatial fabric. It also became the top city preferred by Syrian migrants in Turkey, even though Turkey has long received migration. For the first time, we started to see some streets transforming into enclave-like areas with dramatic changes in the streets' character and atmosphere. Districts like Sultanbeyli and Fatih became centers of this. Streets like Ziya ül Hak and Bali Pasha clearly show how these places meet local needs while also attracting outside interests. In our study, we use the mixed method, time series approach, visual analysis, mapping, and social observations across temporal scope like 2014, 2017, 2020, and 2024. These 4 time points are important dates. We choose them by a purpose. We choose Ziya-ül Haq in Sultanbeyli, a more favorable organic enclave, and Bali Pasha in Fatih, which is more central and shows transclavization. Our focus was on commercial facades and street level changes. Here we see Ziya-ül Haq Street in Sultanbeyli in 2011 after the start of Syrian migration. This area was mostly residential with many empty shops or construction sites. By 2014, we see the first attempts of Syrian businesses with Arabic signage, creating early enclave patterns. In 2017, Arabic storefronts became widespread. Right before the 2018, there is a rule that limited Arabic to 25%, Arabic letters to 25%. This regulation led to redesigns and more mixed signs. In 2020, during the pandemic, some businesses closed, but the area showed resilience thanks to local networks and food shops. By 2024, we see hybrid signs and a stable community-oriented enclave. When we come to the case study, second case study, Bali Pasha in Fatih, our focus was on commercial facades and street level changes also. Bali Pasha Street in Fatih, a more central location. Again in 2011, it was mainly residential. By 2014, Syrian shops with Arabic signs started to appear. In 2017, Arabic language was highly visible on shop fronts, making the street look very different. Then after 2018, as I mentioned before, the regulation that limited Arabic language on the shop fronts to 25%, businesses redesigned their signs. And in the pandemic, after the pandemic, in 2020, the pandemic impacted these shops. But by 2024, Bali Pasha transformed into more of symbolic, partly commercialized space, almost like a showcase enclave attracting outside visitors. In this slide, you can see the comparison of the case studies. Comparing them shows different paths. Ziya-ül Haq remains community-focused and organic, while Bali Pasha is more branded, designed to attract outsiders. Both cases highlight how migrant areas reshape urban space and social life in different ways. In this slide, you can see the findings. We subtitled our findings as temporal findings and social spatial findings. When we look at the temporal findings, over time, these neighborhoods changed in important ways. In 2011, Syrian migration began. This was mostly residential and little impact on the streets. By 2014, small Syrian businesses like markets and bakeries appeared. Arabic signs started to shape the local streetscape. In 2017, right before the signage regulation, Arabic was highly visible on shop fronts, changing the street's character. During 2020, the pandemic caused many businesses to struggle, but areas like Ziya-ül Haq showed resilience through essential shops and community ties. By 2024, we observed more hybrid signs, combining Arabic and Turkish, showing adaptation to regulations and community identity. We also found that many empty shops were reopened by Syrian business owners. Old workshops or low interaction spaces turned into cafes and restaurants or dessert shops, which increased social interaction and improved urban livability. These attempts are beyond economics. They are not just supporting the local economy. They made public spaces more vibrant and socially engaging, and enhancing the urban livability. In short, our study shows livability is more than built environment. It's about social life, culture, and shared spaces. It can be said that Syrian enclaves in Istanbul are turning into transclaves, mixing local life with symbolic and commercial roles. They can boost inclusion but also risks becoming commodification places. So planning needs to balance it, support fair rules and local voices. Livability is dynamic. It grows from how people live together every day. So livability is dynamic, emerges from social, spatial interaction and cultural layering, not a static score. Thank you for your time. There is our references in this slide. I look forward to your questions. Thank you for listening.